Amber here, and today's foundational yoga practice is a practice specifically focusing on strengthening or stretching, lengthening our hamstrings, releasing tension and pressure there. So if you're like me and you have tight hamstrings, you might know how annoying that can be. Some of these stretches and yoga moves here could also be used if you've done a leg workout recently or you're just feeling tight in your legs in general. You might find this to be helpful. So even though this is specifically targeting hamstrings, if you're feeling sore or tight in your legs, this practice might be able to be used for that as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and come over here. Come to my mat. So optional props. Now this whole practice I designed for you to be able to do with or without props. So if you don't have any props, that's okay. These are just some options that we'll be playing around with today. So one is just a block. So you want to have a block, or you can just use, like, if you have a big textbook, that could work really well here, like a big dictionary or something like that. I don't know if people still have physical dictionaries these days, but if you do, you know, could work, or block, again, optional. Another thing that I always like to have for practice is just some kind of blanket. It can be a blanket like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this kind of blanket. It could just be a blanket off your bed that you folded up into sort of square rectangular shape to sit on or use for different things. Again, optional, but I feel like most of us have some kind of blanket around. That's just nice to have. And then a strap. I have a really long strap here. You do not need a strap this long, but a strap is an optional thing here as well. If you don't have a strap, you could always use like a scarf or a belt or some similar object. And if you don't have any of those things, again, you won't have to have them. They're just optional tools to have for today's practice. So that being said, we're going to get started today in mountain pose, standing at the top of your mat. So step towards the top of your mat, feet parallel to one another. Really ground your feet down towards the floor while also lengthening up through the crown of your head. So really standing up tall, finding that really nice, good posture here. Shoulders relaxed down and back, crown of your head lengthening up. And start to connect to your breath, gently breathing in and out through your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And just try your best to stay with that steady rhythmic breath throughout our little practice today. And as you kind of connect to this mountain pose, find that good posture, connect to your breath. Let's just inhale, sweep your arms overhead, reach your fingertips up, just kind of lengthen your body. Clasp your hands together here. And we're just going to stretch, side body stretch over to your left. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, other side. Just kind of gently waking up the body if needed, just kind of stretching things out, getting us started. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release your arms down to the side. And then from here, come back to your mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana, standing forward folds. You want to try to keep your ankles, knees, and hips stacked here. You may very well have a little bend in your knees, okay? A lot of us will, especially for this first time around. You might be feeling a little extra tight, especially those hamstrings in the back of your legs. Just tune into that. And you can always bend your knees a little if you want. Hands may or may not touch the floor. Just let your head hang heavy. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then from here, bend your knees enough so your hands can touch the floor beside your feet. We'll step your right foot back behind you. So coming into a low lunge. Exhale, lower that back knee. You can always slide a blanket or something underneath your knee if you'd like. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Try to shift your hips forward, really lengthen up, open through your chest. Take one more breath in to your low lunge. And exhale, begin to bring your hands forward. Let's actually take your hands to your hips for a moment, to your waist. So we're going to fold forward with your hips and not your back. Start to extend that front leg, that left leg. So straighten your leg. And then just start to come forward over that leg a little bit of time. So just feel it out. It's going to be a little different for everyone. So different things you can do here. You might take both your hands to the floor. You might use a block here. I love to use a block here, so I would place the block underneath my right hand and just take my left hand to my waist. Try to keep that that left hip in line with my right. Make sure there isn't any pinching or pain in your back or your leg. Well, it's called half splits. You just want to feel that stretch along your hamstring here wherever you go. Some of you might even bring your head to touch your knee. Like I said, I have tight hamstrings, so I will not be doing that today because I don't want to hurt myself. Let's just take one more breath here. You've got it. Inhale, bend that knee, slide forward back into your low lunge. Curl your back toes under, lift that back knee. And then step back, find downward facing dog. And just take a moment here, walk it out a little if you want. Maybe bend one knee and then the other. And stretching your calves a little bit in the back of your legs, the lower part of the back of your legs. That way, just kind of feel it out. Just take one more breath in. Exhale, lower your knees down to the earth. Just do a little cat and cow here. Inhale, look forward, abs relax down towards the earth, tailbone lengthens up for cow. Exhale, draw your navel into your spine as your tailbone tilts towards the earth and gaze towards your navel for cat. Inhale, shift forward to your cow. Do a couple more of these. Exhale to your cat. And then come back to your tabletop, come back to your hands and knees, and just sink your seat to your heels for any variation you like of child's pose. The knees can be close together or apart. You might stretch your arms out in front. You can even form a little pillow with your hands. Just take a couple more breaths here. Coming back to the breath if needed. And press through the palms of your hands. Begin to shift forward back to your tabletop. Fingers spread wide, shoulders over your wrists. Curl your toes under. And again, lift your hips up, find downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lift your heels off the earth. Exhale to bend your knees. Inhale to gently step your feet forward towards your hands and find that forward fold Uttanasana. Press down to your feet. Inhale. Make your way back up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, palms to the side for a moment. Notice your breath. Check in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, reach your arms overhead again. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. You might start to notice the pose feel a little bit different as we keep doing it. Maybe you feel a little bit more loose than that first one already, and maybe not. Take your hands to the floor. This time, inhale, step your left foot behind you. Find that low lunge on this side. Exhale, lower your back knee. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Front knee stays over your ankle. Try to shift your hips a little forward if you can. Take one more breath in. And exhale, start to straighten that front leg and come forward. Find your half splits, wherever that is for you. And really, if you don't go very far in this right now, don't beat yourself up. And all of our bodies are different. We all hold tension in different areas. Just looking for that stretch, that release. That's what matters. Let's take one more breath here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, shift forward back to your low lunge. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, and guess what? Let's step it back. Downward facing dog. Just take a breath for a moment here. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale to bend your knees. Inhale, step your feet forward to meet your hands. Uttanasana, pause, take a breath. And then press down to your feet. Inhale, roll it up to standing once again. Sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, palms down to your heart. Connect in Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe. So we're doing something a little different here, and I'm going to show you with a block, but I'll show you with that one as well. So what I'm going to do is start by stepping your left foot back. So your right foot's forward, legs are straight, and you want to make sure there's some space between your legs. If your legs are right in line with each other, it's going to interfere with balance. You're going to not have enough space to work with, okay? Let's take that block, if you have one, or book or whatever. And if you have a block, I would say start with the highest height. You can adjust from there and place it over to the left side of your right foot. If you don't have it, hang with me. Take your hands to your waist. Inhale, lengthen your spine. So starting by standing up really tall, lifting up through the crown of your head. Both legs are straight. And then from here, hinging at your hips again, start to fold forward a little bit at a time. And then when you're ready, maybe your hand, maybe that left hand touches your block. Or maybe it even touches the floor. You never know. You can always, if you have a block, you always play with it and adjust it. So maybe it's here, maybe you lower the height. If you don't have a block, you can do is just take both hands to your waist. If you don't, you can either touch the floor, or if that doesn't work for you, you can bring both hands to your waist and just fold forward. You're still going to get that same stretch in your hamstring that way. Shoulders relax down and back. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Remember, always come out if you ever feel any pain. Press down through both feet. Inhale, make your way back up. And exhale, release upward to your mountain pose. We're going to do this on the other side. So this time step your right foot behind you. And make sure there's some space between your legs. Legs are both straight and strong. And if you have a block, you can take it whichever height you felt worked for you over to the right side of the left foot. And just play around with it. Take your hands to your waist, hips are level and facing forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift up, stand up tall. And then exhale, begin to fold forward. A little bit of time. Any amount's fine. You can be right here, still have flat back if you're feeling a stretch in the hamstring. And maybe you come further, maybe you come farther than me if you don't have as tight of hamstrings. Find your pyramid pose, either with or without the block. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. You're doing great. And then press down through both feet. Inhale, slowly make your way back up to standing. That's our pyramid pose. Step up to the top of your mat, or set your blocks aside. You can kind of shake it out, or making little stretches or movements here that feel good to you. And take a moment to honor that. And then come back to your mountain pose. Excuse me. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. I bet you can't guess what the next pose is. Exhale, fold forward. Come back to our lovely Uttanasana. Maybe a little bend your knees. Maybe even play around straighten your legs. See if you feel a little bit more, less stiffness, a little more loose in the back of your legs already. You can meet yourself where you're at. And then bend your knees however much you need to. Place your hands on the floor. We're going to step back again to downward facing dog. Take a moment, breathe here. And then from here, fingers spread wide, shoulders relaxed, navel drawn in towards your spine. From here, we'll inhale, lift your right leg up, stretch your right leg just for a sec here, back towards the wall behind you. Inhale, bend that knee. We're going to bring your right knee forward next to your right thumb as you extend that left leg back behind you. If this hurts your knee at all, I talk about this all the time in class, this pose isn't for everyone, so you can always do this on your back, which I can show in a moment. Nothing wrong with that. Otherwise, just check, make sure that everything feels okay, and make sure that your hips are square. And then, optional, you can even find a pillow with your hands and come forward here, command a pigeon pose. This one you can feel in opening your hips, maybe your hamstrings, your glutes, just depending on where you're feeling tension. So if that doesn't work for you, if you have any issues or anything like that, your alternative will be instead to lie on your back. And just bring that right knee in towards your chest. Place your right foot on your thigh. Slide that knee out away from your body to open your hip. And then you could stay either right here, or you could lift that front leg, reaching for your hamstring, and settle into a reclined pigeon variation. So either one. I'm going to take one more moment here. Our pigeon, and then from here, just begin to extend your arms if you came forward, and curl your back toes under, lift that back knee, come back to downward dog. I always like to walk it out after pigeon, so you can do that. You can do a little bit leg stretches, just whatever feels good to you here. This is your practice, and then we're going to move into pigeon on the other side. Inhale, lift that leg up, stretch it back. You got it, and bring that knee forward next to your thumb. Check in with your hips as you extend that back leg. And then from here, you'll start to perhaps come forward if that works for you. Or do this on your back like I showed before. Take a couple of breaths here. Really sink into this pose. One more breath. And then start to extend your arms, lift your chest. Curl your back toes under, lift that back knee. And one more downward facing dog. Feel free to walk it out, make any movements that feel good to you here. Let's just take one more breath in. And exhale, lower your knees. Take a brief child's pose, just one breath in. And one breath out. Inhale, come forward. We'll just slide your feet over to one side. It doesn't matter which side it is. And come to find a comfortable seat. And that's where if you have a blanket here, I highly recommend sitting on a blanket or something to elevate your hips here. But if you don't have it, that's okay too. Just a recommendation. And we'll come to a seat with your legs stretched straight out in front of you. Still sitting with your upright spine, so crown of your head lengthens up, hips rooted down towards the earth. Begin to extend your legs out to the side, so kind of forming a V or L shape with your legs, if you will. We'll bring that right knee in towards your body. Place your right foot alongside that straight leg, and then just let your knee rest towards the floor. If there's a lot of space between your knee and the floor, you might like to secure it by placing a block or a blanket or something underneath it, but you do not have to. Begin to turn your torso to look out over that straight leg. Inhale, lengthen your spine, sit up tall, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, just a little bit at a time, start to fold forward, making sure again that you're not pinching or hurting your back. So you might reach for your knee or your calf, maybe your ankle, maybe your toes. Just gonna feel it out. And try to see if you can keep your knee here mostly straight so you can get that stretch in your hamstring as well. We'll just take a couple breaths here. I know this one can be a little awkward sometimes. Uttanasana, head to knee pose. And then inhale, start to walk your hands up your leg. Make your way back up to your neutral spine. We'll do on the other side. So other side might feel different. Just play with it. Extend both your legs. This time bring your left knee in towards you. Place that foot alongside your thigh. And then if you have space, you can always put a block. If not, then you don't have to. You might have one side where you use something, one where you don't. Just kind of feel it out. Begin to turn to look out over that straight leg. Inhale. Always want to start by creating that length in your spine first before we fold forward. Engage your core a little bit to support your spine as you begin to fold forward a little bit of time over that leg. You just, again, go wherever you go. There's no competition here. Take a couple breaths. Relax your shoulders. And then inhale. Start to walk your hands up your leg. Make your way back up to your seat. Stretch both your legs out. Shake out your legs. And getting little stretches, movements that feel good here. And bring your legs back in. Come to a cross-legged seat. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, take your right hand to your left knee. Just a little quick twist. Look out over your shoulder. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind. Other side, reach your arms up. And exhale, turn to look out over your right shoulder. Keeping that length in your spine. Inhale, look forward. And then just roll your shoulders a few times. Release any pressure there. If you're sitting on a blanket, you can set that off to the side. We're just going to do a couple more moves here. So I'm going to come to lying on your back. Lying on your back with your arms out to the side. Relax to your side palms facing down, knees stacked over your ankles. Press your feet into the floor. Inhale, lift your hips up into one bridge, lifting your lower, mid, and upper back. Just take a brief moment here. Pause at the top. Take a breath in. Say hi to my assistant, Murphy. And exhale, release lower, down, upper, mid, and lower back. You can bring your knees into your chest for a moment. Rock a little from side to side. Then we'll do one more move here. Just bring your right knee in towards your chest. Left knee can stay bent. And if you have a strap, you might want to use it here, but I'll show it without the strap first. So what we'll do is just take your hands, you can clasp your hands even on your hamstring, the back of your leg, and just work to extend your foot. And reach your foot up, extend your leg. Maybe feel a stretch in the back of your leg here. So that's one option. If you do have a strap or belt or something, what can be really, really nice here is that you would do the same thing, except taking that strap right underneath like the middle or the arch of your foot, and then work to extend your leg and let your foot relax into your leg. And just take your hands low enough on the strap so your shoulders can still relax down. This is one of my favorite, really safe, kind of relaxing hamstring stretches. I do prefer it with the strap, but if you don't have one, just do the first option. We'll take a couple of breaths here, although in your own practice outside of this, you can do this at home and stay here as long as you want. And then when you're ready, just release the strap if you have one, bring your knee back in, and release your foot down to the floor. And then opposite side, bring your left knee in towards your chest, and either take your hands, place your hands at the back of your leg, extend your foot, or use your strap object and place it underneath and let your foot rest into your leg. You might have a little bend in your knee here, it's totally fine, or your leg may be straight, just to again meet yourself where you're at. Ideally we're going for about a 90-degree angle here, but if you're not quite there yet, that just means this is a really good pose for you to practice. And let your shoulders relax down. We'll just take a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, just release the strap if you're using one. Bring your knee back in, and this time just extend both your legs, stretch them out, stretch your arms back towards the wall behind you, full body stretch. Just like take one big breath in through your nose. Exhale a big old sigh out through your mouth. Just kind of releasing anything that's no longer serving you, anywhere you're holding tension in your body, your mind. And I am going to close out this video right now, but I do invite you, as we close out this video, to take at least 5 minutes and lie down in Shavasana, just kind of to rest, absorb the benefits of the practice. Otherwise, I do really hope that you found this practice helpful and made you feel a little bit more loose in your hamstrings or in your legs. And I will see you back next week. Thanks. Bye.